Well, let's shop.
Yeah.
Mama,
What
good morning
up?
to you.
It's a day after the holiday.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
It's actually a night. It's actually a night or the morning after the COVID-19 app tracker was launched, or tracker app was launched. But initially I went to Play Store, I didn't find it, but
the app.
But they have a site, so when you go to the site,
yeah,
you will get the APK.
But I was a bit confused. What is it that I was confused? Like, is that all? Like, what, you answer the questions that come, and then
you just have to input your email and your number initially. And then
so this is subsequently, if you happen to get the disease, then
yes, it's also to help you to also make inputs. For example, if you're not feeling well, you seem to be having a feeling of the symptoms.
So they'll be tracking how.
Then they'll get to know. Look, it looks like we're getting some potential signs. Especially when these data that is inputted through the app is aggregated. So if let's say it's put on a map, like the way sometimes we do for the COVID map, you get to have colored highlights, knowing that there are a number of people who have inputted through this app who are experiencing either fever, headache, etc.
I'm still trying to appreciate what you're saying now. You're speaking, all right.
Yes. So we have the app.
I'm not sure if I get you, because
so just listen.
We know the symptoms, like it's been shared a lot of times.
When you are feeling it, as I
can understand the English you're speaking.
Good. So then you go to the app, then you input headache, this, that. Already you have given your name, your number, your email. So it's easy for them to know this is the person saying that it looks like I'm having a feeling of headache, consistent cough, etc.
And then?
And then they'll zoom into you.
Oh.
Because the education is that you don't have to be trooping to the hospitals very often.
Okay.
All right. So when you do this, then they are also in a better position.
I hope you're right, though.
Well, that's how I know. That's how I know the app trackers usually work.
No. We're talking about this tracker.
Yes. Okay. I can't be wrong.
Okay.
I can't be wrong.
All right.
So it's just not for you to be having it on your phone and be watching it. So let's say at your place, Kuntunse, all you need to do, let's say if you were not coming to work and you'd been at home,
and I was feeling sick or showing any of the symptoms, I just go
rapidly
to the app,
you would deteriorate
and
when you are from the asymptomatic level into the main transmission.
And so I just lock myself in and share what I'm feeling on the app.
All that you're feeling, and then if you have more people within a certain demographic or population within a certain region, if they have to interface that onto a screen, they'll get to find that maybe a number of people have inputted this type of information. Don't make it difficult. No,
you are trying to simplify it, but now you're confusing me.
No, I'm not confusing you. So you, somebody else, etc. And then you have aggregated information.
This is what I feel like we should do this morning as part of this.
Okay.
Do you all understand the app that was launched yesterday? Do you understand it? Let us know. Send us messages.
Do you have some preconceived question you want?
I don't. I mean, I have a very open mind. A very open mind to this. Honestly, yesterday I went to the app store. I couldn't find it. But as I was watching a bit of Shatawale's performance, that's the only one I could catch.
Then you remember that they are launching the app.
So they advertised it. They advertised the website where you should go. So that's why I went to, and then I saw, you can't get it on the Play Store, but you could get it using, the www.Ghana COVID-19 tracker. I hope I'm not wrong what they gave, but except that when I went through it, I still really didn't get it because So that's why I'm so very open mind. I just want to know if you understand what happened yesterday and if you've downloaded the app, because that's the message, isn't it? I just didn't understand the whole music and everything else. And somebody called me and said, but the music didn't connect to COVID. Like, it wasn't like artists were coming to speak in their local dialects and telling people about the disease or something like that. Like, they're just performing like normal performance. Like, what's this whole thing about? But apparently we've done better than the US and Europe, so who am I? Let's just go to the newspapers, shall we? Roland Walker?
All right, so we have to do the newspapers. I have the Business and Financial Times. Mamavi has the bulk of the COVID newspapers?
No, we have to share. So you do.
Oh,
do
no.
I'll do the Daily Graphic
Social distancing.
and
no, please, can you
Crusading
start,
Guy.
Mama? Please
I don't even want your COVID, so don't come to me. So let's start with the Daily Graphic newspaper front page. Okay, apologies. I didn't mean that. I mean, I don't mean that you have COVID. Yeah. All right. So the front page of the Daily Graphic.
I didn't take it that you mean that I have it.
Front page of the Daily Graphic, that's what's on your screen. Movement restriction extension. Police intensify surveillance. And yesterday, gosh, listen, if you're not exempted, you have no business anything to do in town, and you think you're just bored, you want to drive around, or you want to make funny excuses, or you want to pretend you're doing market when really you can do market very close in your community. Don't even think about it, because you are bringing traffic in town when we're not supposed to be experiencing any traffic at all. And they've tightened it up. You go through about 3 checks. I think when we started, Roland, I mentioned to you, I didn't see no checkpoints on my stretch. Now I have about 3. Fantastic. And they will scrutinize you. You have to turn around. Even this dawn, they were turning people around because their excuses didn't make sense to the officers.
I think that the heads of the security forces on the COVID committee, they listen to you a lot.
No,
because
it's not me.
Oh, I thought you said you.
I said what on my stretch?
Yeah, so now they've put.
No, I mean, I wasn't complaining. We were just sharing experiences because
okay.
Yeah. So when I hear somebody says, "Oh, they have roadblocks on their road," I was just also sharing and saying, "Oh, but I don't see any roadblocks on my road." But yesterday at Poko, I say, "Oh my God, I was tired of it." I mean, I stayed in the traffic for more than 30 minutes, and I was wondering, has it got to do with the construction? I was really thinking very hard until I got very close and I realized, no, it has nothing to do with the construction. Construction was going on all right.
They just tightened up the grips.
Wasn't causing traffic, but the police and the military on both sides of the road, I mean, they were just wild. And I realized they were filming what they were doing as well. And they wouldn't take any excuse. Like if you don't have a valid ID or if you don't give them a reasonable reason, they would just signal you to 10, just 10. I mean, they don't just care.
I think that's the way to go. If all of us would monitor, if you're on the road, especially those who drive, just look at people who walk around, or let's say even on the pavement, and you question yourself, you find that they have no business walking on the road.
Yeah. And I think shame on those who they know they have nothing to do in town, but they just want to try the officers on the road. Shame on you if you're one of them. And listen, I don't know, but in the afternoon, like around 1 p.m. when I was going home, and the sun was so hot, and I saw the police and the military still standing on the road and doing the checks, I was thinking, listen, Ghanaians, let's make it easier for these guys. Like, it's too much work. On the sun. But let's run you through the rest of the headlines. Free water directive to cost almost 300 million Ghana cedis. COVID-19 disrupts Easter, keeps Christians indoors. Yes. UG quickens vaccine prospects is also another headline on the front page. We will touch on that a bit after the general review and the center spread. Zoom line disinfects legal institutions. Ghana Chamber of Mines supports COVID-19 fight with 11.5 million Ghana cedis. And barely 3 weeks after producing its own brand of sanitizer, the Kumasi Technical University has again manufactured an industrial-sized foot-operated hand-washing machine. On the back page, the president of the Association of Women in the Media has advised market women to heed the advice to practice social distancing and good hygiene in the market to curtail the spread of COVID-19. IPMC donates to Nima residents. To the New Crusading Guide newspaper now, front page, disaster looms. Residents defy social distancing protocol to grab food. One of the agencies we know sharing food is the National Disaster Management Organization. Oh, they've got an oversight responsibility. We'll engage them today on the show. Don't talk to media. Ghana Health Service warns staff. Will our world remain the same? That's a question on coronavirus. Absolutely not. Trouble looms at Talensi. Shanji Ghana Limited at it again. but residents plot fire and bridgestone resistance. That's mining. This has to do with mining. Details of that story in the paper today. All right, Roland, we'll do the business papers.
Yeah, definitely. And talking about business, a lot of what has happened or is happening is going to impact the world of business. And you ask the question, will our world remain the same? No.
Absolutely
At least
not.
I know that now I have good excuse not to be present in church on Sunday by rather streaming the service live.
You know, this is the second time you've said this.
No, I haven't finished. I'm in Vietnam.
Okay, whatever.
And the second one, businesses now know that people can work from various remote places in real time and deliver.
How effective is that?
And I don't know. Do you have a business you're monitoring as indicating that it's not effective if you?
No, I think that we have to measure that.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Because people have KPIs. So
It's
once
not
you have
every...
key performance indicators and you have the index there, you're supposed to deliver. If you deliver, you know. I think that's Africa. We like to see people feely.
It's
so
not
that's the problem.
all of our jobs that are like that.
All right.
Yeah. I think usually...
And then thirdly, just like you've been doing throughout the period, you can order foodstuff from Malata to be delivered to you at Kuntumsi. And that is how our world will change post-coronavirus.
Okay, so let me correct that.
And then Samson, Ladi, and Yanini doesn't need to see his client face to face. Samson, good morning. I've greeted. This is the second time.
You know, that's
Too much love.
one of the things. Oh, it's interesting you bring something here because I wanted to ask him how they're managing with the courts and their cases.
Oh, no problem.
I think it's one of the things.
He says they don't have any problem.
Because I was trying to monitor what the changes they're making in the U.S. because you know some of the judges are really old. And around this time, very old people is not advisable that we put them out there because most of them have underlying conditions. That's not good if you expose yourself to this disease, this coronavirus. So I wanted to ask how, because they're doing live streams and things like that, and you know our court systems, you can't live stream. I mean, you can't even go with a camera.
You mean in the U.S.?
In the U.S.
You
so
can't
I'll
live
bring
stream?
up, no. I'm saying that that's some of the alternatives, like the different arrangements that they are making.
I think that could be a good subject we can discuss tomorrow.
Yes,
asking
absolutely.
him how we can use this period to improve. Charlie,
I just want,
Mama, you are brain new. How you get brain?
I want to know if they are actually dealing with some of the cases.
Maybe in their respective chambers they'll do that, but I'm not sure that the judicial system in Ghana has
It wasn't
adopted
completely shut though. It wasn't
No. In
shut.
terms of using these alternative means by which they can undertake their adjudication of cases.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go to the Business and Financial Times. This one is good for me. I'm enjoying electricity at a rebate price, but the Business and Financial Times, based on its discussion, just like we've also done here on the show, speaking to Ben Boachi of ASEP and other well-known experts on energy, that these rebates or waivers we're getting, subsidies as announced by the president, it's not going to come free. It's well captured on the front page of the Business and Financial Times, which continues its Chronomics stories. It says electricity bills waiver spells doom for debt-ridden power sector. Government set to absorb 1 billion Ghana cedis monthly. We're going to do that for 3 months. That is 3 billion Ghana cedis. IPP's owed $1.5 billion already. An expert described move as poorly thought. COVID-19, Akufo-Addo.
So we are saying government didn't know what they were doing, or they didn't think this through. I don't want to believe that.
I think government thought through.
Yeah.
But the experts also have an opinion.
Oh yeah,
and
absolutely.
This is expert opinion. And you know that government around the world, they take decisions that is at variance to what...
Yeah, but government is also surrounded by key advisors and people who are also experts. Exactly. I don't want to think about the negative side. I want to believe they know what they're doing, and that's why they decided to absorb this.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. And also because you're a consumer, you're enjoying it, so you
yeah, I want to think as a consumer.
And I know.
President decided to take up the cost, so let him think about that side.
if you were working in an energy company.
I'm not working in an energy company.
COVID-19, Kufuor eases burden on businesses, household, free power for the poor, house electricity bills for commercial and private residents. Like Roland.
But here's the thing, though. It's just two of the cities, Greater Accra, Kumasi, that are under lockdown, correct? But we all get to enjoy this package as a country.
So if you look at the economics of it, the wider trade and commerce and the activities that take place within
these two sectors,
they all tend to influence the general business environment outside these boundaries. And so it means that because Accra Kumasi is under lockdown, it's definitely going to affect the farmer who ideally would have transported or have had somebody from Agbogboshi to come and transport often, because the demand is also low in these 2 or 3 cities we're talking about. Tema also inclusive. So it's got a lot to affect the rest of the country. PURC also maintains utility tariff for Q2 amid reduction claims. But the story has captured the imagination of many this morning is about government decision to take up 50% of electricity bills for residential, commercial, industrial users and free this for the poor. But according to ASAP, we spoke to them as well. They said this is going to cost 1 billion Ghana cedis each month for 3 months, 3 billion Ghana cedis. It means already there's an outlying debt that is there to all these producers and gas suppliers, $1.5 billion. Just do the conversion to cedis, you get to know. And he says why it will benefit the rich more. He said even as government opted to offer this lifeline to consumers or the poor, Mr. Boachi believes that the decision favors the rich rather than the poor. To him, if government pays about 18.5 Ghana cedis for each lifeline consumer, those who fall within that bracket per month, an affluent resident of East Legon in Accra, for example, who will consume 5,000 Ghana cedis, will now enjoy a waiver of some 2,500 Ghana cedis.
Yeah.
And somebody who is consuming...
I appreciate that analysis.
So that's 2,000. But the thing is, when you have more money, then and you have these cards, then you have more money to...
Okay, but this is what I'm also thinking, that person who we put in that category as rich is also suffering as a result. So if that person has got business, it will also, you know, come under
the margin
kind of, because of the difficulty. So the point is that we're all facing the same challenge. You may have more money than myself, but we're all going through the same thing. You get what I mean?
Yes, the margin of loss for somebody who is a high category earner is higher, but the margin of hunger is bigger for the one who is poor.
It comes back to the whole free senior high school
and all that debate.
Arguments again. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's all about subsidies and free things. You know how they affect the rich and the poor, and ultimately.
But it cannot be perfect. I think that's what I want to say.
Yeah, we can't have. That's equilibrium. Yes. Yeah. Okay, so let me do the Economic Times. Has on the front page: government borrows 17.9 billion Ghana cedis from local markets for second quarter. Gas retailers and consumers, they also oppose new MPA cylinder recovery levy and Ghana to benefit from $10 billion AFDB COVID-19 response facility. A number of countries are going to enjoy that. Okay, on the back page of the Economic Times, new mobile stroke. Let me tell you why it looks like the Economic Times is confused, just like Mama V is. So they decided, you know, the editor was not too sure, so he decided to add computer app. New mobile stroke computer app to trace coronavirus card.
But listen, that's...
Okay, so even though technically you may not be wrong, it says new mobile, and you know, the app just means application. So you... Charlie, let me leave all my problems here. Mama V, I'm sure you have some sites you want us to take a look at.
Yes, I want us to do the BBC. Well, there are plenty of stories.
Okay, so let's
Nigeria has also extended. Yesterday, they also extended the lockdown because they did an initial 14 days. And in Lagos and Abuja, they've added 14 more days to it. So the cities are still locked down.
They added 14?
14, yes. Okay. So 14 plus 14 now. We will do plenty of stories on the BBC. There's also the thing about France, which has also extended the lockdown. However, in Spain, we're seeing that they are trying to ease. They're trying something. I've heard them say, if they do and it doesn't work, then they will just move back again. So we will see details of those stories.
Okay, so let's go to my Joy Online quickly. Just give you how the homepage or the interface looks like. And the topmost story, IMF approves 1 billion Ghana cedis for Ghana to do with coronavirus economic impact. And you just scroll up, talk me up with the President of the National House of Chiefs, the Agbogbomofia of the Asogli state, regrets clash between police and Ga traditionalists over coronavirus ritual. And we don't know that the traditional priests, etc. of the Ga state, they decided to sack coronavirus from the spiritual world. It was a spiritual world that the physical human beings just couldn't understand. So there was a confrontation. Allied health professionals volunteering for COVID-19 contact tracing withdrawal services. What do countries with the best coronavirus responses have in common? Women leaders. I was thinking I would see Ghana. I didn't see because the vice president said we are not the topmost, so we should have been seeing maybe the president's wife.
I thought it was specific to the app.
Ah, it was the app.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, and we don't have a lot of time. Let's do the BBC before we go.
Actually, we don't.
We'll go. Yeah, we don't.
So Mama V will do the BBC for us.
All right, so here we go. Burundi suspends football over coronavirus. One of two countries in the world, right? That they were still actively playing football.
Did they suspend?
Finally,
because they were left
can we just go down a bit?
Okay. They finished with it. Ah.
So the Football Federation has suspended local matches 2 weeks after the country confirmed its first case of coronavirus. Let's leave that to Benedict. I'm sure he'll build up on this story. Sudan to impose full lockdown in Khartoum. It's also another story there. South Africa hails success in halting virus spread. A bit of the story so we can appreciate. So South Africa says it is succeeding in fighting the coronavirus pandemic with a nationwide lockdown showing clear signs of containing the disease for now. All right, great. That's good news. Bobby Wine offers to airlift Africans mistreated in China. You know Bobby Wine? That's the Ugandan musician turned MP, who says he's collaborated with a friend, and they have the capability. So if countries will receive them, then they will airlift. Nigeria extends coronavirus lockdown in main cities. That's what I was sharing. All right, stay with us. We've got sports coming up.